Well, hey kitties, Retro Dad. I have something truly amazing in this box. Now, I was going to open it, but I decided, hey, I'll wait, and I'm gonna show you guys. There it is. I got it. Panic freaking Restaurant. This has been number 2 on my list for years, and this is a game that has slipped through my fingers several times. Hey, we'll talk about this and a lot more after these messages. Now, I'm not going to do a whole review on Panic Restaurant. There's plenty of them out there. But it's a solid platformer. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of humor in it. And it honestly is a great game. But is it worth what I paid for it? I'm not going to tell you how much I paid for it. I did pay under market. But this is a game you are seeing drop in price. It's now hovering around the mid 500 mark. But is it really worth paying even $400 or $300 for it? Well, that's what we're going to talk about at this episode. We're going to talk about games not worth the sticker price. Now, one rule is I have to own the game. So I won't be talking about Little Samson or Power Blade 2 or a game like Save Events, which I don't usually count. And one thing we're going to talk about games that are worth 100 and up. But guys, don't panic about NES prices. So are these games worth the sticker price? Let's find out. Swamp Thing. Now, this is a game that's gone up in price, and I think a lot has to do with speculation. That's my theory. I think we're going to have people trying to manipulate the market somehow, and that's the only way I can determine why Swamp Thing has gone from a $70 game to upwards of $185. You have people trying to manipulate the system somehow and buying multiple copies. The controls are terrible. The hits, Swamp Thing is a weak character to play. And he's supposed to be a strong character. You fight these mutants or mutates, whatever they are. You get some projectiles, but overall, this is kind of a broken game. It's playable-ish, if you want to say that. But in my opinion, the graphic art looks better than the actual gameplay. This is a game that should only be worth $10. If you can find it cheap, go ahead. But it's definitely a game not worth the price. Extreme close-up. Whoa. Okay, I'll stop doing that every time I talk about this game. Is this worth the price?
No way.
Wayne's World on the NES is another game that is not worth the price. It is a game that I think it peaked at $130. It still hovers around 100, but it's a game that is dropping in value. It's not really a sought-after game. It's kind of a weird one to get. It's barely playable past the first level. This is a game definitely not worth the price. This should be a $15 game. I'd say hell, even a $5 game. It should be with its SNES counterpart in value. Oh, my poor Wacky Races. Is this worth the value? I'll say it right off the bat, I'm going to be biased on this game. I absolutely love Wacky Races, based on the Hanna-Barbera cartoon. Loosely based off of. I love the power-ups, you have the bark, you have the throwing bombs, you have the hover tail. Overall, it's a very solid game. I highly enjoyed it. I could pick this game up any day and play it again and again and again. It's a game that goes about $200. Is it worth the value? Ooh. I would say it should be a $100 game at the most if we're going to go expensive. As a toss-up for me, I'm undecisive if this is worth $200. To me, it's a solid game. It's a great game. It's a great platformer. I don't think it gets a lot of credit. You can even call it a hidden gem. Oh, my ugly duckling cart of Kid Clown. Is Kid Clown worth $300+? Kid Clown, honestly, in my opinion, is a solid platformer. I actually highly enjoy it, and if you've done any research on the game, you do realize in the Japanese version you actually play Mickey Mouse is actually a Disney name in Japan. Here, we got Kid, and he's trying to rescue his family. The stages are fun. You have balloons you shoot at bad guys. The boss fights are enjoyable. It's a very enjoyable game. It's not a hard game, but it's a very enjoyable game. Now, one thing that drives me crazy is this bonus shooting level where you're trying to hit the target to get extra lives or get an extra heart or replenish part of your life. This is tricky. And just like a clown playing tricks on you, they will play tricks on you. You think it goes one way and it'll shoot off the other. I highly enjoyed Kid Clown. I believe it's a game that doesn't get enough credit. Controls are very responsive. I believe it's another hidden gem on the NES. But is it worth $300? Because this is a game that's shooting up in price. Unlike other games are trickling down in price, including more expensive ones like Little Samson and Dinosaur Peak. But I don't believe it should be worth $300. I believe it's a better platformer than most on the NES. I enjoyed it. I don't regret how much I paid for it. When I got my Kid Clown, I paid under market, and Kid Clown was only going for $220 at that time. Kid Clown goes past $300 now. I think $357 is the last time I looked at it. Not worth that much, but it might be worth $100. If you can score a cheap copy of Kid Clown, do it. You will not regret it. It's a fun game. Well, the Bomberman's back in Bomberman II. Well, is the sequel worth over $100? There's a lot of stuff Bomberman 2 has going for it. Its graphics are enhanced compared to the original game. The controls and everything else is very similar. This is a game that hovers around 145 to 114 on the low end. I have seen it trickle down in price. I got my copy from a local guy and he gave me a really good deal on it. Is it worth over $100 though? I would say no. Definitely not worth over $100. I believe this is another $30 game at the most. If you know the NES, you know people love Bucky OHare. It's a game that's uncommon. It's a game that a lot of people missed when it was cheap, and now it's over $100 because Bucky OHare worth $100. What can you say about Bucky? Well, I've already done a review and a few on it a couple years ago. Bucky OHare is a solid game. Watch my review in a few if you want to know more about it. Is it worth $100? This is a game, I would say yes. This is a game that's worth over $100. It's a solid game. It's a great platformer, a lot of fun, a lot of challenge. Bucky is one that I love having in the collection that I could pick up and play. I won't play all the way through because it's a frustrating, anger-filled game. Because it can be frustrating, but a lot of fun though. It is a solid game. It's a game that a lot of people enjoy. I enjoy. And it is one I do believe it's worth the price. Another late release Taito game, the Jetsons. Is this worth $150 or more? Is it? You gotta give it to Taito and their late releases. This is a fun game. It's pretty solid. You know, I'll be honest, I haven't really played this one all the way through. Is it worth the price? I don't think so. It's another game, in my opinion, that's okay, but it should not be more than $30. Well guys, that's just a handful of examples of games over $100. Really, I only said yay to a couple of them. I think most games that are over $100 are not worth over $100. Because these are older and they should be able to be enjoyed by other people. Not just people who have a lot of money or been collecting for a long time. Games are meant to be enjoyed and played. They shouldn't come down to just nickels and dimes and dollars. You should be able to enjoy them. Now, I enjoyed most of the games we talked about on this list, with the exception of like Swamp Thing, Wayne's World. You can get alternative versions like emulators, we talked about that before. But for solid games on the NES, you want physical carts for your system or for your Retron 572 or whatever. These are some great examples of games that are expensive, might not be worth the money to fork up. I'm already close to getting that license set, thanks to beautiful Panic Restaurant, but I've been collecting for a long time, and if you watch the show, you've seen the progress I've been doing. Well, I got 2 big ones off the list this summer, but was it worth the price? I don't know. Well, thank you so much for watching. Have fun. Go game. See you later. A lot of these games are overpriced. You play Cookie, a chef whose restaurant has been overrun by possessed food. And you hit him with a frying pan. Sometimes you get a big, a spatula, whatever you get. The levels can be difficult and be tricky, and it's one of the most sought after NES titles. Does that mean it's worth the sticker price? Panic Restaurant, honestly, it's tough. It's such a great game. I would say, honestly, it shouldn't be a $500, $600, $700 game. It should be about a $100 game. But that one,